But that moves us on to our mid-season awards. It's going to be nothing too in-depth or anything like that. But yeah, MVP, you start us off, brother.
Pretty obvious. Russell Wilson so far. Don't have his stats up, but he's clearly been the best quarterback in the league, and the Seahawks are 6-1, so he's in pole position, and I think he'll win it. I think he'll win it over Mahomes and Rodgers.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely win it. And I think right now, I reckon people maybe after the Bucks' failure, well, not failure, but poor performance on Monday, I think now Seattle would be viewed as the number one NFC side. Would you agree with that? Or
Yep.
Yeah, the Packers and Bucks are up there, but they kind of faltered both of them on the weekend. So I think now the consensus would be Seattle are the number one on that side of the comp. Russ Wilson is been allowed to cook, as they say. Let Russ cook, and cook he has. Loving the air game in Seattle. No one's really been able to stop it, and he's also been putting on clinics in prime time, which is always a big factor into the MVP race. I rate that one. I do think he will win the in real life version as well. I've actually gone with Aaron Rodgers though. As I mentioned before, in terms of the weekly voting system I do, Rodgers is actually on top of the QB, and obviously the MVP is pretty much always a QB, except for when AP decided to be a beast. Rodgers absolutely beasting this year, throwing 4 TDs a week for fun, pretty much. He's actually thrown 20 TDs in 7 games, on track for 40 odd, which is a pretty beast season. That's, I think, Patrick Mahomes threw 45 or something when he won the MVP. Just absolutely killing the game. His team is now 5-2, so they probably wouldn't want to drop too many more games if Rodgers is to win the MVP. I don't think he will, just quietly, because I think Rodgers sometimes, I feel like some people don't notice him as much as he probably should be noticed, and I do think Russ is probably the better candidate, but that's just how my votes have worked out, so I'm going to back them in. And yeah,
cut that out.
Rodgers.
Sorry, mate.
You're absolute baker, mate. All right, offensive player of the year. So basically, just MVP that's not a QB, pretty much. Who are you going with here?
I've gone with Dalvin Cook over Derrick Henry. He's missed a game. He's only played 6 games, but in those 6 games, he has 652 rushing yards and 11 total touchdowns. He has a lot more touchdowns than Henry. Henry has more yards, but I think he's been the superior player.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Been a beast.
And Henry just had like that one massive game. Cook went massive this week as well, I guess. But that's probably definitely boosting Henry's stats that one week.
Cook's a lot higher on yards per carry as well.
Yeah, because he's had to. He was sharing a little bit at the start with Madison, but now he's kind of wrestled back the reins. And I like that. He's really the only thing carrying that offense. Whereas Henry, yes, the running game is vital to Tennessee's success, but Tanner's, AJ Brown, Corey Davis, they all chop out. Where I guess they do have Thielen and Jefferson, but in terms of Kirk Cousins, you're not working with much there, are you, Dalvin? So you're doing bloody well, champ.
Dalvin.
Very, very fair award there. I'm actually going with Alvin Kamara. I know you're not. I feel like you're not the biggest fan of Kamara because he kind of takes the piss in fantasy because he just gets so many catches at the line of scrimmage. Like they're not really that important, but he's a big reason why the Saints are 5-2. Drew Brees, it was well documented. He started pretty slow this year. Thomas injured round 1. Jared Cook's missed a few games. Sanders has missed a couple games. He's really been the only thing, and their defense has been awful. So Kamara's really been the only thing carrying it in both the air and on the ground. He's just been killing it, really. Not much else to really say on him. He's had 7 touchdowns, so he's averaging a touchdown a match. He's had 987 yards from scrimmage, and he's on track to comfortably beat his previous best, which is 1,592. So he's probably going to cruise to beating that. Yes, he does get bulk touches a game, But like, who cares? He gets freaking 80% of the receptions and 80% of the carries, so he's just an absolute beast, Kamara. And yes, he is frustrating to all fantasy players, but got to respect him really because he's putting that team on his back sometimes. So respect Kamara. I love you, brother. And you're my offensive player of the year. Hope you're proud of yourself. All right, offensive rookie of the year. Who are you going with?
I'm going with my man Joey Burrow. I think it's pretty much between him and Justin Herbert. I'm on the Burrow camp, big Burrow fan. But I mean, third in the entire NFL in passing yards with 2,272, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's been put into a pretty bad situation. Horrible offensive line. The bloke gets sacked about 12 times a match.
Yeah,
but he showed some really good signs, and he's going to be an absolute freak.
Yeah, I back it, and obviously I talked about it in my winners, and as you said, they've been quite underrated this year. So no, I'm not offended by that one at all.
Thanks, mate.
Before I get into mine, quick shout out to James Robinson. I think he's probably the third man for this award. I'd have to say, he's been
above Clyde. Probably is actually.
I'd easily have him above Clyde. He's carrying that offense, making Minshew look not bad somehow. My man, I'm going Justin Herbert. Just statistically, he's absolutely balled out. Yes, I know Burrow's dealing in a worse situation, and he does get sacked 100 times a day, but yep, Herbert absolutely boosting it. Hasn't had a game under 250 yards in the air yet. In the last 4 weeks, he has only played. He didn't play week 1, and then they did have the bye week 6, so that probably should have been taken into account in the mid-season awards from me, but I don't care. In the last 4 weeks, in his last 4 matches, he's thrown at least 3 touchdowns a game, and 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Had a game of 66 rushing yards, so he's, he can do it in the air and on the ground. Not really much else more to say about the great man. Everyone kind of knows how well he's been playing, just been balling out, been dropping 60-yard dimes to Jalen Guayton and Virgil Green and all these myths.
Who the fuck is that bloke? He keeps making 70-yard grabs. I've absolutely never heard of him.
They actually throw to a lot of randoms. Any throw over like 20 yards, it's either Mike Williams or someone you've never heard of, and then Keenan just takes everything within 20. But yeah, for me it's Herbert, but I'm sure come the end of the season we might have changed that verdict. And also I think Burrow's strength of schedule has to be taken into account as well. Defensive player of the year once again was going to do that, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it because I haven't done my vote, so I didn't want to just pick a team out of my ass. All right, most impressive team so far this season. Who are you going with?
I'm going with the Buccaneers. They are 7-1. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Only loss was against the Bears, and
no, they lost to the Saints week 1. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. That is true. But they're absolutely beasting it now, and Tom Brady is beasting it with a lot of weapons missing each week. They have an unreal defense, which was probably a bit unexpected coming into the year, and they've just blown expectations out of the water. There's blokes like yourself who are saying Super Bowl favourites for Tampa. So I mean, hard to look past them.
Yeah, I was very skeptical of them. I thought there was a good chance they were going to be the Browns of last year. Everyone hopped on them in the off season.
Yeah, I wasn't really convinced either.
Yeah, we bloody. Well, I don't know if you did. I definitely tipped the Falcons above the Bucs in their division. I just thought Tom Brady was kind of past it, and he wasn't going to be as good. But he's definitely proved me and all the doubters wrong. He's been absolutely brilliant this year. And yeah, as you said, we haven't really seen the offense fully firing yet. Fournette's missed time, Evans has missed time, Godwin's missed time. Now they've got Antonio Brown. Gronk's only really hitting his straps in the last fortnight. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting what their offense is going to do. And now their defense is certified one of the best in the comp. Last year they used to ship like 50 points. They had a few good pass rushers. Obviously, Shaq Barrett was up there in the sacks. But yeah,
absolutely. They've got a good secondary now.
Yeah, they're killing the game.
Carlton Davis or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that guy beasts whenever they're on TV. My team is the Cardinals, currently sitting second in the NFC West, which is that in itself is extremely impressive. But the fact that they're 5-2 is absolutely insane. Their defense has really stood up this year. Only conceded 146 points in 7 outings. Obviously, that huge primetime win over the Seahawks was their highlight of the season so far, but they're looking like a solid candidate for an NFC wildcard spot. Well, pretty much if they fight off the Rams and 49ers and stick in at second in the NFC West, that they're basically wrapped up a wildcard spot. Because surely one wild card has to go to that division, if not two, if not three. So yeah, the Cardinals have been awesome. Murray, people were kind of predicting it. I listened to a few podcasts and they were actually thinking he was a smoky for the MVP in the preseason. But yeah, he's really stood up. Hopkins has proved to be as much of a steal of a trade as we were expecting. And yeah, their defense is, as I mentioned before, really stepped up. So good signs for the Cardinals. Probably got to get their running game sorted a little bit, but hopefully Chase Edmonds in the next couple of weeks with Drake out can, keep up the momentum he's had in the last month. He's been averaging like 4.5 yards per carry compared to Drake's like 2. So hopefully that can improve and that will help their air game as well. But Murray's scrambling. You don't even need to do anything else. It's so overpowered. Most disappointing team for you though?
Yeah, Murray's a freak. I've got 2 here. Couldn't split them. Well, my one is the Cowboys, but also the Vikings. I've added the Vikings in there because the Cowboys did lose Dak, which is kind of unlucky. But they've both been huge disappointments.
Yeah,
I think I had the Vikings scraping into the playoffs.
I
Pre-season.
think I had them 10 wins. I don't know what's going on there.
They've been. I mean, they did just beat the Packers 2 nights ago, so which is pretty good. But 2 and 5, they've been pretty dog shit.
Yeah, they have been pretty poor. But yeah, the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys speaks for itself. Just shocking defense. Their offense was beast, and now it sucks as well without Dak. But yeah, they're just atrocious.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And people were saying they would go like 13-3.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I hate to put on a cape here, but
put it on, mate.
I was not copping. I was never copying those calls. I always was going to say the Eagles were going to win this division. I said that in the prediction video episodes. Go check them out if you want to prove me wrong. But yeah, obviously the Dak injuries helped my cause there because they might have finished above the Eagles just through pure offensive scoring. But yeah, for those who were saying they were Super Bowl contenders, like what did they even do compared to last year? They just added like CD Lamb. It's like, yep, sick.
Yeah. They thought it was all because of Jason Garrett, but clearly wasn't the case.
Yeah, like I have to say, I did think the coaching was going to make a difference, and it hasn't at all. But I just thought it was really arrogant what they did with their defense. It was pretty bad last year, and then they let go one of the best cornerbacks in the comp in Byron Jones and just didn't replace him. So I'm almost glad that they're really struggling because I think I don't rate the way they were going about it, just trying to load up on offense and just have a shocking defense. But yeah, I think next year they're going to have to make some big signings on the other side of the ball. Offense will probably be all G, but yeah, very disappointing. Jared Jones cop. My most disappointing, I was going to say the Cowboys, but I went the Patriots. Yes, it's probably pretty stiff, but I actually, once again, I'll chuck the cape on. I didn't think they were going to have this record. I thought they were a sniff to make a wild card spot, but they're 2-5 right now, and they've looked pretty bad. They looked all right on the weekend, but they've looked pretty bad in the 2 games prior. And yeah, a lot of people thought, yes, the Bills will win the division, but the Patriots still might go 9 or 10 wins. I predicted Miami to finish above them, but that was kind of just a bit of a humorous selection, just a bit of heart over mind. But they actually have been very poor, and Miami are looking strong favourites to finish above them at the moment, and playoffs is out of the picture now for the Patriots. And yeah, to those, like, it's always hard to doubt Bill Belichick and the Patriots because they've just been insane for so long. But yeah, every podcast I was listening to, some were even saying they would still finish above the Bills. And yeah, they couldn't be much further away from that. So yeah, 2 and 5, very disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah, totally agree there. I actually pre-season I thought they would still make the playoffs just because of Big Bill, but yeah, they've been pretty shit, and Cam Newton's been pretty shit too.
Yeah, like I had low expectations for Cam, and he's probably somehow not even met them. That's saying
he looked so good in the first 2 weeks, but I think it was just because of his rushing touchdowns. To be honest, I don't know if he was ever actually balling out through the air.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all we've got for today. Just a quick look.
It's a miracle! Oh yeah! What about that one? No! Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.